What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The best Virginian here. Today, we are going down to Greenbrier County. We're going to White Sulphur Springs. We're going to talk about the one place I will never be able to afford to visit. That, of course, being the Greenbrier Resort and Hotel. The first mention of it comes from 1778, when an individual was cited as saying he was heading to White Sulphur Springs to take in the waters. In the 1830s, the resort started building cottages for people to go and stay in. These cottages include Paradise Row, Alabama Row, and Baltimore Row, which still stand to this day. The first large hotel was built in 1858. It was officially named the Grand Central Hotel, but was always referred to as the Old White. During the Civil War, both sides occupied the hotel at various points during the war, since it was right on the Virginia border. During this time, it was used as both a headquarters and a hospital. In 1873, shortly after the Civil War, the Chesapeake and Ohio railways were open, and this allowed more guests to come to the resort than ever before. Just in 1941, when the United States got involved in World War II, the United States government ran around, gathered up all of the Japanese, Italian, and German diplomats in D.C., and actually sent them to the Greenbrier to be detained. I have this book here, A Way Out in West Virginia. It is a must-have guide to the oddities and wonders of the Mountain State. It's pretty old at this point. I think it was written in 1999. It actually had a lot of information in here about the Greenbrier, and it said that during the 200 or some days that these diplomats were there, they actually ended up tipping the resort almost $50,000. In 1942, the United States purchased and converted the hotel into a 2,000-bed hospital and rehabilitation center for veterans called the Ashford General Hospital. In 1946, the railroad reacquired the hotel from the government. May 7th, 2009, Jim Justice, current governor of West Virginia. That's all I'm going to say there. Can't afford to go there. Maybe I should do an open letter to Jim Justice. We'll see how that goes. Jim Justice buys the Greenbrier. It had racked up a lot of debt at this point, and he kind of started the process of trying to make it one of the most formidable resorts again. In 2009, construction begins on the casino, which brings new shops, restaurants, and entertainment to the Greenbrier. In 2014, the New Orleans Saints moved their training camp to the Greenbrier. This year, the Houston Texans are down there. They're going to be down there from July 26th to August 6th. I am a pretty big Houston Texans fan. And in 2015, they opened up the Greenbrier Chapel in the North Lawn. The Greenbrier had always been a place for destination weddings and outdoor weddings, and Jim Justice kind of, I believe it was for his daughter's wedding, wanted a chapel to be built on site. Like I said, they do a lot of sporting events here. Of course, you have the Houston Texans training camp. You have September 15th and 16th, the Greenbrier Champions Tennis Classic. And while I'm filming this, while I'm filming this, July 2nd through July 8th is the PGA Tour FedEx Cup, the Greenbrier Old White Classic. So apparently there was a bunker built at the Greenbrier, which is fascinating. So in the 1950s, the United States government approached the Greenbrier again. This is less than 10 years after they gave the Greenbrier back after using it as an army hospital. And they went to the Greenbrier for assistance in setting up a emergency relocation center for the United States Congress in case of a war. They built the bunker in conjunction with the West Virginia wing. So as they were building the West Virginia wing up on the surface, they're actually building this bunker down below. And the project was named Project Greek Island, and the bunker had to be kept in a constant state of readiness. Construction began in 1958 on this 112,000 square foot bunker, which was built 720 feet into the hillside. Here are some fact rundowns about the bunker. There were 4 entrances, 3 to the Greenbrier grounds and 1 from the main building, a 25-ton blast door, decontamination chambers, 18 dormitories designed to accommodate 1,100 people, a power plant with water purifying equipment, and 75,000 gallons of water, 3 14,000-gallon diesel fuel storage tanks, communication equipment, including television and audio production booths. Not just did they have these production booths, but they actually had like a news station background kind of that showed the United States Capitol, and they had a spring version and a fall version. Because when the nuclear apocalypse happens, you miss the small things. You miss seeing, the trees bloom and the leaves changing colors. Just learn to appreciate the little things. Lovely. Good insight on that one. That is good thinking. A clinic with 12 hospital beds, along with medical and dental operating rooms, a pharmacy, an intensive care unit, a cafeteria, and meeting rooms where the House and Senate would meet. Now, if you want something to stay hidden, you put it in plain sight. That meeting hall that was built for the House and Senate was actually used many times as the Greenbrier Theater, and one of the dormitories was actually used for business conventions. Along with all this, the largest jet airplane runway in the state and one of the most high-tech airports in the country was the Greenbrier Municipal Airport. Magazines were kept in constant monthly rotation in the lounges and cafeteria. Heating, water, and air purification systems had to be ran daily. Once it was complete in 1961, the facility was maintained in a constant state of readiness by a small group of government employees that were working undercover as the Forsyth Associates. They basically made a fake company that claimed to be there just to maintain and repair all the hotel's televisions. The Forsyth Associates were the only people that had keys to the bunker armory. So yeah, Congress would get there, and these guys would be the only ones that had access to guns and restraint equipment, which included straitjackets. The nuclear bombs never dropped. If you want to see how that played out, you're going to have to go play the Fallout games, which I will do a full review over the use of, they call them vaults in the Fallout universe, these huge bunkers that were built just in case of a nuclear war. I will do that video later. That's a little brief history about the Greenbrier. I've been West Virginian. Don't forget to stay wild, stay wonderful. Welcome to West Virginia.